Manuel, Angela Merkel has told Obama that if she was being spied on, it was a grave breach of trust, her exact words. But if it is true, what can she do about it?
Well, first of all the situation is somehow ironic because when in June it came out that the NSA is spying on millions of Germans and that the privacy of the German citizens is, let us say, sold to the US government, our Chancellor Angela Merkel was really relaxed with those facts. She even defended this so-called cooperation with the US because she said to the German citizens that this type of cooperation is necessary to protect the Germans from international terrorism. So now we witness our Chancellor, when it hits herself, when it hits her personally, she's quite not as relaxed. But what we learn about this is the attitude of the US towards Europe, especially towards Germany, because we use always in Germany the terms partnership, friendship, and allies when it comes to the relations to the US. But frankly speaking, to be honest, we see a US dominance and we see a German government behaving towards Washington almost like a puppet regime with preemptive obedience, with defending everything what the US is doing on Europe. So now we see it hits the Chancellor herself, and now she's upset, and this is somehow ironic.
Yes, and surely all this angry rhetoric we're seeing from the likes of Germany and France, it's fairly meaningless, isn't it? Because Europe simply can't afford to diplomatically fall out with the US, can it?
I'm not sure if Europe couldn't afford it. I think this is the general opinion in the European political elite, that they couldn't afford to be a little bit more frankly speaking with the US, because if it would be a real partnership, with equal positions on both sides, it would be possible to speak to the US in a friendly way and to tell them, stop, this is a limit you crossed, this is a red line. I think Obama knows this term very well. This is a red line you crossed and now you have to step back. But this is not coming from the European governments, because what I said, they behave towards the US like satellites, like puppet regimes. They accept everything.
All right, so why spy on the German Chancellor and other leading politicians in European countries? What is America actually gaining from it? Because after all, this surveillance program is meant to be about counter-terrorism, isn't it?
Yes, this is what we are told. But it tells us more about the lack of respect of the United States when it comes to things like sovereignty and sovereignty rights, that you don't spy on governments, especially on the governments of your allies. It shows also that they seem not to trust 100% and that they want to monitor, that they want to know exactly what about our Chancellor speaking and to control if this obedience is really 100% or if there are maybe some negative thoughts towards the US. I think this is a control mechanism and they want to know very well, and the technical development shows us today that we are living in a sort of Orwell nightmare in the meanwhile, because it became so easy to spy on everything and on everybody. And of course, when it is technically so easy, they even spy on governments, they spy on diplomats, they spy on parliaments, on parliamentarians, and so on. So this is a sort of total monitoring.
Manuel Ochsenreiter, great to hear from you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us live here on RT.